So this is basically where all of our account specific, profile specific details will reside in. This is this is specifically all the regions where AWS give their services to us. Okay, as in this is where all the data centers are present. This is where if you select a resource and create a resource, it's going to be created in one of these regions, whichever region you'll select. Example, currently, if I am in Mumbai region, it's going to go ahead and create resources in Mumbai region. Okay. You can go ahead and select, come here, click on services, and post that you can search EC2 service. These are, okay, let me talk to you about services. These are all the services that are provided by AWS. Okay. So when I initially started, I was talking to you more about server, getting all the servers, and like when we talk about data center, we have servers. You can create those servers in cloud provider. But not only servers, there are a lot more things that a cloud provider has to offer. Okay. Something that we discussed yesterday was called as a managed service. Okay. A managed service which is now managed by AWS. Okay. But you are leveraging that and you don't have to manage that service. Example, when we talk about database, okay, and I go ahead and select on probably RDS. Okay. So what I do is I come here, I ask for create a database for me, give some details. Based on the details, it's going to create a virtual database in backend and give me a URL using which I can connect to that database and put my data in there. Okay. A database is where is in kind of more of a tabular format. I hope you already know a bit about it. If not, then please go ahead and read. If you have any questions, please come back and you can ask me here. Okay. So when it comes to a database, you will have to go ahead, run a database. And when you're running a database, suppose that you will connect to that database, maybe query the data, insert the data, etc., etc. Okay. Now, in case of a managed service, they will manage and create a database for you. They'll give you a URL, an IP, or a CNAME, something like that, using which you will be, or a connection string using which you will be able to connect to that database. Once you connect to that database, you can go ahead and perform same set of operations which you are performing there on your own database here as well. There are some restrictions, but they are very minimal. There are some restrictions still there because it's anyways on some others server. Okay. This database is also running somewhere in that, somewhere in Mumbai region, there is some server where they have started a database and they are giving it to you. Or some server where already a very big database is running, there they are creating a small database for you and giving it to you. Okay. So whatever is happening there, you will not have full control over it. So you lose control, but at the same time, you get an ease of using a service. Example, let's talk about a very simple service of um, getting your car. Like you must be doing your car servicing or your bike servicing, right? Now, earlier when these providers were not there, okay, what people used to do, they would do it on their own. Okay. If there were some vehicles, okay, they would whatever that vehicle used to offer, they used to kind of rectify it on their own, because culture of doing, or culture of giving money to somebody else to fix your bike was not there, or your scooty or your scooter was not there. Okay, so people used to do it on their own. Now, when we don't have time, we don't want to invest a lot of our time in fixing that, and plus we don't even have expertise, or we don't want to have that expertise. That's when we would want to go ahead, get our servicing done from probably a service center. Okay, so this is outsourcing my work, right? Something that I don't want to do, I don't want to manage, I'm going to give it to somebody else to manage. Okay, you do it for me. When you put your money in bank, you are actually giving it, or you put your money in mutual fund, you are giving it to a company. Like example, if you have bought ICICI XYZ fund, okay, you are giving your money to that bank for them to use the money, to use your money and give you some returns. You can also do ahead and go to the same stock market and put your own money there, but rather than doing that, you would want to leverage something that already exists. For that, they would charge you some fees, but again, it's going to be like you will still be making some profit there, might be. Okay, same thing happens here also. Okay, you can create a server, you can manage your database on your own. Okay, put your data there just like you manage it in a data, just like you manage it in a simple server. Okay, database is again a service that manages your tables, other things, querying, so on and so forth. Okay, now for this particular service, they are managing it for you. You pay them some extra money to get it up and running for you. Okay, wherein they will only have to manage 100% availability of the service. They will only have to manage everything. You will be given some like some IP or some domain to be able to just connect to that part. So these are services. So all of these are basic services that are given, offered by AWS. Okay, so if you see, there are containerization services, there are networking services, compute services. So currently we are working on compute service. Okay, in compute service, there are different services that are given. We are more focused on having an EC2 server currently. Okay, but now you can go ahead and create anything or use anything you want to. Okay, nobody is going to stop you for that. So you can manage it on your own, or you can ask AWS to manage it for you. Let's try creating a simple server here. So I'm going to come here, click on this option called launch instances. It's a very simple format, but still be sharing all of these details with you so that when you go ahead and try it, you can do it on your own also. Example, I want to create a server called anything I can use. Okay. Now post that, if I want to add some additional tags, I can. Tags as in using this, you can go ahead and identify a resource. Example, env. So I can give an env tag and give its value to be something like test. Okay. So that using this env, you can query and find out all the instances which have this particular key available. Okay. It's basically more of like if I give an example, consider, let's go to let's go to a bank again. In a bank, if I want, everybody has their name. Okay, age, name, age, your account type, and so on and so forth. Now if I want to find out all the people who have age less than 30, okay, all I have to do is just query that. So these are those query points using which you will be able to identify or bifurcate your instances. Okay, sometimes just for uh, this is just for future reference. Example, we might set something called as owner. So if I'm setting as owner, then anybody who's coming back to like this particular AWS account, maybe in a company there can be many people using the same AWS account. right? So there can be many instances, but now who created what instance you might not know. So these tags also help us identify what this machine can be used of, is used for. It's used for test environment. It is created by this owner. It can be a team name, it can be a person's name. So if you get a team name or a person name, you'll be able to identify, okay, this person is responsible for this instance. Now if we want to ask anything related to this instance or do anything on this instance, this is the person who I have to reach out to. Okay, so these tags is just not for querying but also to identify what this particular machines talks about. Just you can consider it as a description, a querying model, an identification pattern, anything. This is an image using which this EC2 instance will come up. Example, now if you have ever installed operating system on your machine, like sometimes that happens, right? Your machine just goes blank and you just bring up a pen drive or a CD which was available before. You'll just come there, put that CD or a pen drive and just load that operating system here on your system, correct? That's a simple process of loading this operating system on a server. So what happens is, this you can consider basically as either operating system or you can consider it as snapshot. Basically, example, um I have a system. I take a snapshot of it, which means I've clicked a photo of it, put it in a file. Next time when I have to bring up another instance, I can use that same image and bring up another instance, okay, which will look identical to same instance as this was at that point when I've taken the snapshot or an image. So these are all the images. Okay, when I say Ubuntu, it's basically a simple operating system image. Okay, this is the description. It has Ubuntu, it has this Ubuntu image, this is how it is, and it is built from this. Okay, and it's built on this date. Now, if you want to have your own images, you can have your own images. There are certain images that are available in AWS, publicly available, and are given to us by AWS. That also you can use. Example, if you want to go for Red Hat, you can just go for Red Hat and Red Hat, whichever version you want to go for. Example, I want to go for Red Hat 9. I'm going to set this. If I want to just have simple Ubuntu machine, I'm going to set that. Okay? This is the architecture. Generally, we avoid changing it until and unless it is explicitly mentioned by the company. But this is architecture. This is machine architecture. Okay. So we have set up till now, we have said two things, names and tags. Okay. We understand what a name is now. We understand what a tag is. Tag is basically just to identify the system, just to probably sometimes understand what the system signifies. When it comes like we have hundred of instances, you don't know sometimes what instance is used for what. Okay, so this can be used for that as well. This can be used for querying these instances also. Okay, this is basically images. Okay, image means a simple, either you can consider it as an operating system or a snapshot or an image of an already existing system. Now when I use this image to bring up another system, it will look exactly like when that snapshot was taken. So these images, they are Ubuntu images. So there can be an image that was created initially. There could be one instance that was created initially where Ubuntu was installed. There was an AMI that was created by AWS, and this is the same AMI. Okay, this AMI ID is ID for this particular image. This ID also is different for every region. Okay, even if I am talking about Ubuntu server 22.04, this ID will be different in this region, this ID will be different in another region. Okay, so this is us. When I'm saying different for different regions, it means it is a region specific resource. Okay, there can be some resources that can be available throughout the which are available across globally, but there are some resources that are available in this region, that is created in this region. Okay, available as in they are like this AMI ID will only be visible in this region. If you use the same AMI ID to create instance in another region, it might fail. Okay, this is the type of instance. Okay, type of instance means what is going to be CPU, memory, and other resources that you want to give this server to. So when you go ahead and buy your own machine, your systems, okay, you check operating system, you check CPU, you check memory, hard disk, right? These are simple things that you will check, definitely. Okay, apart from that, you might check more details, like I want this many um uh, this is the virtualization I want. When you go ahead and check for a system, okay, you might check graphic card, you might check operating system, you might check um, like CPU, memory of that instance, and hard drive. Okay, now in these kind of servers, we don't want to check probably a graphic card or something like that, because we don't want to use it for gaming purposes or those kind of stuff. These are compute instances that we want to use to process some information, to do to run our code and stuff like that. So we don't want to have a lot of virtualization and things like that available on these systems. All we want here is to have more capacity, so that we are able to run heavy, like we are able to run, process heavy code, our code, etc., etc. Okay,